Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. What's going on? What's good? What's good? What's good? So, been looking at the news and watching everything just kind of crumble around us. Listening to everybody everybody with lettuce hands, you know, that kind of thing. All the whiners and everything. Meanwhile, your boy sitting here looking at 91,880 for Bitcoin and thinking, got that dry powder. I mean, excuse me, I know it's not funny, but it's funny. I mean, Bitcoin's at 91. Let me see something real quick. Well, now it's at 92. All right, 92 and change. That's fine. Earlier today, it was all the way down to 91,029. So I'm kind of like, what are you whining about? What are you whining about? Did we dip below, my normal area where we seem to be consolidating? Yes. Is that a problem for me? No. Why not? Because of everything I've been saying for a really long time, right? This cycle is like no other. There are similarities between this cycle and previous cycles because you can always draw some kind of similarity. But the fact is that this cycle is like no other. Facts, right? We've never had this much buy-in. We've never had this much investment. We've not had this much knowledge sharing. We've not had this much anything. So just saying, not bad. Tonight's question, and no, I don't have Instagram, on and popping. Tonight's question: which exchange just pleaded guilty to serving U.S. residents? Which exchange? Uniswap, Bybit, OKX, Binance. Those are the ones. Take your pick. Take your pick. As if there are a few, because I hear people bragging about it. There are these exchanges operating, within or serving United States citizens when they're not supposed to. They've got no KYC, and that's supposed to be a good thing. Let me explain to you about Know Your Customer, KYC, AML, anti-money laundering. Those are actually very big deals, right? Any organization, any company, any banking institution, centralized exchange that does not have those practices in place, that's not a company I want to do business with regard to my money. Because it means they're purposefully trying to skate the law or are skating the law. So that's going to be a good conversation later. I really do think that's going to be a good conversation later. Now, Mike Novogratz opposes an Ethereum hard fork. The Pectra upgrade is actually, Helensky? Something like that. It's actually up and running on, on a test net. But what he's talking about is an Ethereum hard fork, because people are saying it urges world leaders to take action against North Korea. How does an Ethereum hard fork urge leaders to take action against North Korea? Could hurt the chain. It could do a lot of different things. That's not one of them, in my humble opinion. It really isn't. Then we've got Bybit. Their reserves plummeted $6 billion in 2 days. 2 days. That quick. That is more than amazing. More than amazing. Talk about run on the bank. And I'm sitting here and I'm saying, little too much, people. Little too much. Right? I would like to find out what happened. How did it happen? Right? Because it wasn't a single pronged attack. It couldn't have been. As quickly as they were moving, I don't think so. You have to remember, these hackers are ridiculously smart. And guess what? That is all they do. That is all they do. Now, it begs the question, should there be a team at every single exchange and all they do is thwart hackers? Not to say that they don't have that already, but I'm guessing that most don't. I'm guessing that they have people in charge of security and they're doing certain other things. But I don't think they've hired their own hackers to try to see how they can ward off things. We'll see. You have white hats, gray hats, black hats. Just saying, those are the kinds of hackers that are out there. White hats, obviously ethical hacking. Gray hats, they kind of both sides of the line sometimes. Black hats, totally bad. Just saying. And then you have super hackers. North Korea seems to have super hackers. And they're smart enough to send their people out of country to different places around the world to set up shop and do what they do. And then it somehow gets funneled back to North Korea. Just saying. North Korea is at digital war against the world. And it really is high time that the world wake up and kind of go, what are we going to do about this? Because when you have a dedicated resource or resources acutely focused on one thing, that's what's going to happen. That is exactly what's going to happen. So I do have a problem with, I do have a problem with it. Let's just say that. I mean, it's horrible right now. What's going on, 8 Paws? Yeah, I don't know that I don't know that we needed one of the top 5 exchanges in the world. Hello, Hutanic, by the way. I don't know that we needed one of the top 5 exchanges, centralized exchanges in the world, to get hacked in order to blow past 110. Those things aren't even related in my head. I think that security is a very big deal, and I think that we need to pay more attention to it. I think the idea of a state actor doing something like this is a very big deal, because that's not the only thing they're hacking into. Right? It's way bigger than that. Way, way bigger than that. We personally experience. Thank you very much for that. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. It's a long name. Why don't I find it to be familiar? That must have been your first comment. Welcome to the community. Thank you very much. Hutanic, I get what you're saying, that we kind of, so on one side, I agree with you that we need a catalyst. I don't think this is the right catalyst, is what I'm saying. I think that there are other catalysts that could have happened. We probably could have sat down and said, this could have been one, this could have been one, this could have been one, all that other stuff. That could have been it. Long time cloud listening, first time commenter. Thank you for your service. Thank you. It really does. I'll say thank you for your service to my brother. He's actually the war veteran. I'm just having fun. But yeah, that's AC Power was good, but there's a lot of stuff right there. A lot of stuff. I mean, I think about what could have been catalysts, and I think a catalyst, a pullback in single coin ETFs could have been one. I think that economic woes around the world can still be one. Okay. Let me see. What else could there be? I mean, there are tons of things that there could be, but I think economic woes around the world is huge. I think that's huge, right? I mean, I told you before, I'm not looking forward to the rest of the year. I'm really not. There's a lot of good news that I expect, but there's a lot of economic turmoil that I'm kind of like, no bueno. No bueno. So I'm kind of like, yeah, that could be a thing. That right there could be a thing. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that. You know, like I said, I think the world's third largest centralized exchange getting hacked is not a catalyst. That's the kind of thing that brings negativity to the space, as opposed to economic problems on this side. How the banks are treating. We have a couple of articles tonight. How the banks are treating customers. We had a couple yesterday, versus what you can do with crypto, right? It's that kind of thing. So I'm not looking for anything that's going to cause negativity to crypto. I mean, we've had a lot of good news, but it's been overshadowed by $1.4 billion being stolen. And we'll get into that a little bit later. We've got more news that we've got to get to. Jeez, I can't tell you how many. That's a lot of news. I don't know that we're going to get to it all, people. I don't know that we're going to get to it all. It's something like 23 different articles. Yeah, it's a bit much. Let me see if I can rifle through it real quick, because some of them are related, right? U.S. economic data shows mixed signals in February. That's no bueno. Crypto exchange EXCH denies laundering some of the money stolen from Bybit, some of the digital assets stolen from Bybit. UK regulator flags risks in rapid digital wallet growth. Yeah. That I can actually buy into that. They're saying, please be careful when you choose your crypto wallet. The reason why I said so is exactly why CZ came out the other day and said, listen, non-custodial wallets are going to be the everyday thing. What's going to be the big deal there is going to be the security of those wallets, right? And then it's going to be the user experience of those wallets. I don't even know what that means, Lieutenant. I don't know what that means by pinprick. Do you mean that we were about to have a bull run? See, I don't think it was that. We were about to have a bull run, and then we got tariffs, and that crashed us down. Then we got this, that crashed us down. However, if you look at the charts, it's not as down as before. And then people are going to, and when you stop and think about it, people are going to start realizing, oh man, I oversold. I overreacted. I had lettuce hands. Let me buy back in. You weak stomach freaking people. That's what I'm seeing. It's a good thing I have been so busy at work. The time I know that. Okay, that's your outlook. I don't disagree with you. It is what it is. Radium's price dropped. I think Radium's coin Ray dropped like 31%, and it's because Pump.Fun is testing their automated market maker. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, nobody cares about your automatic market maker. People don't like you right now. Your overabundance of meme coins. I mean, Solana's tanked. You know, Solana is currently at $139. Pump.Fun, nobody cares. Nobody cares. I mean, Solana dropped hard. Hard. There's only $13 billion between Solana and USDC, which is next in line at number 7. Solana's number 6. BNB is out of their touch. They're up 21. No, not 21. 18 billion. XRP. I don't think Solana will ever see the numbers that XRP is now showing. I said it before. I think a bunch of us have said it before that Solana, the only reason why Solana rose so quickly is because of all the meme coins. Now that people are getting a bad taste in their mouth from meme coins, Solana's going to drop. What's real that's going on Solana? I think that's the issue. That's cool. Hey, Rick Ritchie. Solana this could be the downward spiral that I was talking about for Solana. This really could be that downward spiral. Because what was being developed there? Meme coins. Everybody was talking about, oh, Solana's got a lot of projects. They got the most projects, blah, blah, blah. They're not projects if there's an automated service that does it for you. You're not a developer. I have developers. You're not a developer using pump.fun or one of these other launch pads to create your coin. You're not a developer, period. Right? They're not meant to do anything. They were taken too seriously. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And I don't know that Solana can come back. Because now everybody's going to start talking about, all of Solana's, problems. There aren't a lot of problems, but the problems they do have are pretty big. I hope they put their money away. That's what I'm really hoping. I hope they put their money away and then, get out of the news, go find your little network gremlin, fix it, and then come back. That's not too hard of an ask. The SEC, big news. See, here's something else that should have been really, really, really big news. SEC drops the investigation into Robinhood, their crypto business. Michael McCaskill, what's going on, man? Maybe its use case to pay back investors is over. I don't know about that. That's far. That's far. That's far, far, far fetched. I would not sell a thing until the rest turns green. Why would you sell when it's down? Like, Hutanik? I don't understand why people would even think about that. Oh my God, sell. What are you thinking? It's gonna come back sooner or later. Just relax. Go sip some tea. You know what I mean? Just go watch a comedy or something. Just go watch the comedy. I'm not going to be surprised. The whole reason why everything's down so much is because of lettuce hands. And when you look all the way down, everything is red. Not this is red because that was directly affected or whatever. No, everything. That's purely lettuce hands. That's purely overreaction. So just saying. Tax harvesting now, February 24th. I don't know about that one. Maybe for next year? Yeah, I guess you could. No, I'm not. I don't. Too much work. And with how I still don't know how they're going to handle crypto from a tax perspective with the new regime. So I'm kind of like, I'm not going to do anything messy. Nothing messy. Even though they fired a whole bunch of people from the IRS, I'm not going to do anything messy. I'm just going to chill and do what I'm supposed to do. And we'll see how that works. Yeah, we don't care about them. They had lettuce hands. Say, I didn't have lettuce hands. You know? Let's see, what else? CZ shared 3 steps for crypto security. Crypto through hardware wallets, 2-factor authentication, and personal custody. Back to hardware wallets. Personal custody is a big deal. Using non-custodial wallets. Those are some bold statements from the guy who he does own Binance. And do I think that, I mean, he can pretty much say whatever he wants because Binance is just going to make the money that they make. He's not going to hurt Binance at all. He doesn't even manage Binance anymore. Well, not directly. Litecoin and Hedera emerging as next spot crypto ETF candidates. Here's the thing. Canary Capital, a 19B4 or 4B just got filed for a Hedera ETF. I kept saying it. Hedera's got different technology. There are a lot of reasons why there should be a Hedera ETF if you're going to have anything else. There's a lot of reasons. But Solana, excuse me. Bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, I just don't see Solana. And I think right now, there are a lot of people thinking, we got to follow through because we already started the paperwork. All right, fine. And there are probably a lot of people out there thinking, oh, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. I'm one of those people that's thinking it could. I don't know. That's a big drop. That's a big drop. A couple of days ago. I mean, think about this. What was the reason for Solana dropping? The Pump.Fund scandal? That's old news. It was already hit because of that, right? All the way down to 168. Then it went back up to 178. And now it's all the way down to, I'll give you the number right now. Now it's all the way down to 141. How does that happen? No, there's already one filed, so it's going to happen. Cardano's going to get one, and that's going to be it. Montana rejects a Bitcoin reserve bill. Here's something for you. I bet you if the market wasn't, because they were moving mad fast, I bet you if they didn't take a hit, they wouldn't have said no. Also, one of the reasons I think they said no is because they wanted it to be like a $50 billion, a $50 million. Was it 50 million or 50 billion? Right? That's not small. Bitcoin saw $850 million in outflows today. Well, over the past couple of days, as the market's bleeding. Today, Strategy, because that's the name of the company. I'll give you a little tidbit right after that. Strategy completed their $2 billion purchase. I think it was like 20,000 Bitcoin. Now, for those of us that do their own research, and everybody, let me know now down in the comments if you've done your 15 minutes of research today. A couple of you, I know that you did it because I can tell by what you're saying. But I want to know where's your research? Did you do your 15 minutes today? Now, for those of you that do your own research, MicroStrategy changed the name of the company to Strategy. They have a brand new logo, the whole nine. Whenever I see it, me personally, whenever I see an article and it still says MicroStrategy, I keep scrolling. Because that means you're not paying attention. I'm not going to listen to you. Even if you're talking about something that's valid, I can guarantee I'll find somebody else that's talking about it. But I'm not going to listen to you. Because what other detail did you miss? I'm not perfect, but I'm seeing people still calling it MicroStrategy. And I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like the dumbest thing. No, but Binance was maneuvering digital assets for a while. I hear you, Rick Ritchie, but they've been maneuvering assets for the past week or so. So that, I don't think that has anything to do with it. What was kind of funny is Wazir X had some of their funds over at Bybit. So this tiny exchange had some of their funds over at a bigger exchange and then moved them out, quietly moved them out. Yeah. How's that one? You know, okay. What else do we have? I'm trying to skip to the good stuff. Wells Fargo ignored allegedly ignored fraud warnings. This is the second bank in less than a few days that's having the same problem. I think it was J.P. Morgan the other day. $89,000, 89.7 was stolen, and with Wells Fargo today, it's $40,000, give or take. That was stolen from somebody. How's that? So you can't. Shalom alaikum. So alaikum shalom. So so what they're basically saying is, sure, put your money in here, but when you tell us something is going on, we're not going to listen to you, and then too bad for you, sucks to be you. Are you kidding? Now, one would call that kind of a practice not so good. Well, here's the impact of the CFPB, or the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Nobody's there to police that. Nobody's there to stick up for the little person. Yeah, let that wash over you for a minute. Let that wash over you for a minute. That's apparently not a thing anymore. So going back to why should people trust banks? I can tell you now, there are probably a lot of people rethinking that idea. I know a lot of people that don't deal with cash in banks or money in banks, except for the absolute bare minimum that they have to, pay bills. They'd rather invest 100% of their money or close to it. They're basically saying, yeah, nah, skip that. If I'm going to lose my money, I'd rather lose my money on a poor choice in investment. That's basically what they're saying. Tonight's question, let me just get that out one more time. Tonight's question, which exchange just pled guilty? And I wrote plead like an idiot, like a total bum. Which exchange just pled guilty to serving U.S. residents when they're not supposed to? Uniswap, Bybit, OKX, Binance. Those are your choices. Those are your choices. Ham's House, what's good? Are markets really that bad if gold and S&P are ranging near all-time highs? Yes. And you're probably sitting there going, Eddie, you're on crack. Hear me out. So right now, what do we have going on? What we have going on is the idea that the markets are doing well just because certain things are at all-time highs. How do they get to those all-time highs? Are they sustainable? No. That which goes up must come down, right? And when you look at the global economy, the U.S. economy might be better than, but nobody's going to be able to convince me that it's good. I mean, reality is hitting people right now. They raised their house prices too high. That's what brought home sales down. Interest rates are still kind of high. So people are like, I can wait. There's no demand for me to go buy a house. There's no demand for me to have to go, get on a tall ladder, go clean them gutters. The economy is not doing as well as people think. And we're starting to see it. We're starting to see that in the economic data. People that are out of work, there's going to be more people out of work. You have government employees that have never had to look for jobs in eons that are now pounding the pavement. I want you to think about that. They're now out there pounding the pavement, looking for jobs. You've got companies like Citi that already set aside money for the layoffs they're going to have, the next another round of layoffs they're going to have. You have a lot of people that are out of work. You have a lot of people that aren't making enough money, so they've got to go have a second job. In some cases, third job. Economy might look good, but it's not. Just because. So look at it like this. Who buys stocks? What percentage of this company, of this country, owns stocks? It's a very small percentage. So when you look at the S&P, who's benefiting from the S&P? It's not the regular guy. It's not Carlos at my bodega. It's not Susan, who's a secretary or an admin assistant. It's not that. It's not that. Those people are not making that kind of money. The gap between the wealthy and the poor is widening. And there's nobody in between. There used to be. There used to be the wealthy, the rich, the poor. Before that, it was the rich, the middle class, the poor. Remember that? The rich are either going to become wealthy or they're going to become poor. That's the split. There's wealthy and there's poor. Done. Everybody's just trying to survive. It's like, well, how poor are you? I bet you I'm poorer than you are. It sounds funny, but it's not. But like I said, if you look at the economy around the world, the economies around the world are not doing well. Not doing well. And with political strife going on around the world, yeah, we've got a bad catalyst coming. So Hutanik earlier said, I'm not moving. Hello, Paula. I'm not moving until April, May timeframe. We spoke about this before. We were both Q2. Then I moved out of Q2. Right? And I was kind of like, I don't think it's going to be the second quarter. Then I was like, nah, it's going to be second quarter. It's just not going to be as early as I thought. I think no, Hutanik, correct me if I'm wrong. We were both Q1. And then we said probably not Q1 because of things that are going on, probably Q2. And that's where we are. Q2 is when we're thinking crash and burn. I'm excited. At the beginning of the year, I was really hopeful. I was excited. I'm thinking the latter half of this year is going to be tumultuous. Absolutely going to be tumultuous. Paula, it's okay that you were tardy, but you did your research. Gold star. So I don't know what that means. About to roll over too. I don't know what that means. Hutanik. I don't know what that means. Spell it out for people. I think it'll blow past. And when I say I think it'll blow past 110, I think it will blow past 110. And just like you, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to blow past 110. And I'm going to wait. And I'm going to pause. And I'm going to chill. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to pause. I'm going to chill. I'm going to wait. I'm going to pause. I'm going to chill. And then when it blows past, it's going to hit a certain number. And I'm going to be like, I'm going to sell some. I'm going to sell some. And then people are going to be like, oh, but it's going to go further. It's going to go further. If it goes further, great. I will keep selling. And then I'll wait for it to crash and burn. And you know what I'll do? All of that. Well, I'm going to enjoy some of my profits. You got to wet your beak a little bit, right? So I'll wet my beak a little bit, but the rest of it, I'm going to buy back in when it tanks. That's what I think will happen. Yo, Lasky. Wow, Lasky. Haven't seen you in a minute. What's up? Doing business very hard. I've had at least 4 companies associated with us close this month. Boom. The little guys are getting squeezed as the big guys lower prices to finish many off. Yep. I think it will be a good Easter for crypto, and then a long summer, then another short rally around the holidays. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's not shaping up like that for me in my book. We can bet a couple of beers. Well, glass of wine for me. I prefer wine. Chris Vermilion. I'm not even checking. We'll just say Chris V, one of the founders of the Technical Trader. Don't know about them. Warns investors to expect a pretty big stock market correction sometime this year. Oh, absolutely. But now you have people saying that all over the place. Yeah, I absolutely think so. I've been saying it for a little bit now. Yeah, I think so. Because when you look at what's going on, you're kind of like, yeah, that's not sustainable. Who was the first to take the hit? NVIDIA. Took it on the chin, boy. Hard. Boom. They got pantsed. OpenAI got pantsed. Right? And that affects, that affected their stock. That stock is going to affect everything else because somebody else figured out how to use their own GPUs more efficiently than them. I want you to stop and think about that. They are running, NVIDIA GPUs. They're running them more efficiently. So me and my team have a couple of test beds where we're running NVIDIA CPUs. We did the math on how much the electricity costs, all that stuff. It's going to cost us no more than $100 a year to run this GPU, full bore, less than $100 a year. That's not including the solar that we have hooked up to it. That's not including that. That's if we didn't have solar hooked up to it, it's $100 a year. Because we happen to be running LLMs, we're running DeepSeek, we're running QN. Bzzz, mad fast. So yeah, thinking about it. Blood in the streets is happening already. $850 million already, people already liquidated. Ooh, that's blood in the streets. I'm chilling. And why am I chilling? Because I can see it coming. I think we still have a lot of good news come March. I mean, through March, we're gonna have a lot of good news. If the new regime plays their cards right, there'll be additional good news, right? You'll see stuff. But I think the last half of this year is going to be bloody AF. Kendrick, I missed it. $9 billion market cap. I don't know what you're talking about. Get me a bottle. Yeah, I don't even have water at my desk right now. I'm so upset. I'm supposed to get water before I started the show. I think Litecoin is the most undervalued asset in crypto. Now I know what you're talking about. I've been saying it for a minute. Litecoin is one of the biggest secrets out there. But what I mean by biggest is that its market cap is big. It shouldn't be a secret, but it is. If you think about it, Hutan is kind of probably going to be ticked off at me. But if you think about it, it's almost as if you're talking about what's that other coin? That slept forever, was basically dormant price wise, and all of a sudden it woke up. Cardano, that's the one. Yeah, Cardano, that's the one. I know I'm being a pain in the butt, but seriously, if you think about it, Cardano sat there sleeping for the longest time. Litecoin gets used. A lot of coins out there don't actually get used. Litecoin gets used. There are coins out there that get used and not just invested in. That's the big deal. That to me is really the big deal. How many people are using these coins as opposed to, I know I said that earlier, Rick, Canary Capital. But when you stop and you think about it, it's what coins are being used, what coins are not being used. That's the big deal. I don't even know why you're making that a big deal. It's not. Everybody knows ADA is, has a finite number of coins. We know that. So supply crunch, not worried about it. There is no, I think the biggest issue I have is people out there continuously think one coin is better than another. In most cases, that's not it. If you think about, if you just project forward, if you project forward and you say to yourself, people are looking at coins, people are using coins normal every day. What coin is better? The last one I used, that one's the better one. The last one I used. Because I can walk into this store today, go buy this, because I don't know about you, but we do grocery shopping like at different stores, right? You know, meat over here, groceries over there, fruits and vegetables over there, just different places, right? So I can walk in over here and the coin that's up right now is, you know, fast and cheap is, let's say, Polygon. Then I go over here, it's Hedera. Then I go over here. And this is just in terms of timing. Just in terms of timing and what each respective store accepts. I don't think there's one coin to rule them all. There isn't. And Hutanic, I don't even understand that question. I'm not even going to validate that question. I'm not. Totally different things. Not if you just said Kmart. We have more news, folks. I told you that Montana rejected a reserve bill. excuse me. I told you about Hedera because they got their filing. Crypto exchange OX.fun faces extortion allegations. That's a crypto exchange. And they're saying extortion allegations. It's the second exchange today, second small exchange today that's having problems. The other one was, said to be EXCH. That exchange is said to have allegedly laundered some of the Bybit money or some of the Bybit assets. Those are two small exchanges that people use. People really should stop and think about what exchanges are we on. Most people go to CoinMarketCap and they take a look at all the coins. But do you take a look at all the exchanges? CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, a lot of these sites, they have rankings on the exchanges. Do you pay attention? Pay attention. They're like on CoinMarketCap, they actually have green, amber, red. They tell you these, yeah, they're okay. These, yeah, okay if you have to, if you want to. Those, nah. And there are a lot more nahs. There's a lot more don't use that one than there are good ones. So pay attention. I'm just trying to see if I have any good questions. Like, I don't think you can go wrong with Litecoin or HBAR. It's not the coin, but the quantity you hold. The better coins are the ones that make people's lives better. Yeah, nah, I don't believe in that at all. I'd like to, in an ideal world, I'd like to believe that, but no. And if it was going to be that, my first one would be Stellar. That would be my first one, because that was a specific reason that they left. They were like, no, we want to do good for people. And they left Ripple and did Stellar. Yeah. So that's what I'd be looking at. Yeah, no, I don't talk about that coin. Kendrick, I do not talk about that coin, period. No trust. They don't pass the gut test. Nah, negative. Negative on that one. Not even close. Not even close. Let's see. Yeah, I don't trust Pi. So I get you that. Yeah, but where are you looking that Pi just flipped Chainlink? Where are you looking, sir? Let's go there. Okay. I don't see that Pi just flipped Chainlink, sir. I don't see where you're getting that. Number 10 is Tron. Number 11 is Chainlink. Number 12 is Stellar. Number 13 is Sui. I don't see Pi anywhere near there. So I don't know where that information is coming from. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. Big deal, 9.7. You're mixing topics, and I don't understand what you're talking about with South Dakota. Give me some clarity on that, please. After seeing that one and that one, the two new regime coins make top 10. I lost a lot of faith in the market. Ooh, you shouldn't have. Why'd you pay attention to that? Those are memes. How do you judge the market with that kind of information? Seriously? Come on, man. Come on. I feel like I should give you a lollipop or something, make you feel better. Nah. Why would I look on crypto bubbles? What statistic are you judging that by? Because it's not by coin. It's not by market cap. I only care about, not only, but I'm talking about market cap. Maybe they had, things move, but I'm not looking at that. South Dakota, you're saying, just killed their Bitcoin bill. And it's because Bitcoin took a hit and they don't think they can win that argument with their constituents. To me, I'm sitting back and I'm going, it's at $91,000, people. That's a gut check moment. Like, for real? But let's go back to the conversation we were having yesterday where people thinking like, it's going to go down to 80. It's going to go down to 80. Let's suppose it did. Where was it at the beginning of the year? I'm just saying. And we already know that if you see a number, if you've already achieved a number, you know you can achieve that number again. That's what this cycle has proven to us. Also, if you actually stop and think about it, we hit a new all-time high way ahead of schedule. That first time we hit a new all-time high, we were way ahead of schedule. Keep telling people, this cycle is not like any other cycle. We're timing the cycles based on, the splits and everything. It's not the same. It's just not the same. There's a lot more going on. So Rick Ritchie, that's South Dakota and Montana. I wonder who else is going to fall. So I got great big points for bringing up a bill for a Bitcoin reserve. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin takes a nosedive and everybody's like, nah. Hutanic, what? April, May? You get that, and you sit there and you kind of go, we were at 91. We told you people when it was at 91. And now it's not. Now it's like 110, 120, 130, 100 and whatever. End of the year, it's 200, whatever. That's when you're going to catch people with their pants down. That's really when you're going to catch people with their pants down. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. What other good news we have? We have not started. We will know. The growth gives you the feeling it will quit every single cycle. Again, I said it before, I'll say it again. There are similarities. You can point to, well, this happened in the last cycle too. There are similarities, right? For sure. There are similarities between cycles. But this cycle is like no other. In terms of environment, this cycle is like no other. Are there going to be similarities to the other cycles? Of course. You can always, like I said, you can always point to similarities. But this one is totally different than the others. So when that next halving event happens and everything else, the halving event is just like this. Yep, that's a cycle, right? Everything that happens with that cycle, we're already off. Like I said, we hit a new all-time high before we were supposed to, or before it was projected, before it was expected, actually. There are a lot of things that we're going to see that are unexpected. And that's just from the market climate. We're not even talking about macro and micro events. We're talking about just the climate. More adoption, more knowledge, more institutional investment, even more retail investment. People think that, retail isn't participating. Yes, they are. Just saying. So I'm just saying, I think the bulk of this cycle is not like any other cycle there is. Drawing comparisons. See, we went up at the same time. Not buying into that. Even if there is a black swan event, Bitcoin bounces back faster and higher. a while ago, Hutanik, we were all having a conversation, and we were talking about how we bounce back higher and faster, and we take dips less deep than one would expect, and we recover faster. So everything is happening right there is a reason why you would say not the same as other cycles. Just saying, just look at everything that's going on and you just kind of go, And then you start looking at housing prices. And I'm talking about around the world, real estate prices around the world. Who was it? Rick Ritchie, was it you that were talking about Evergrande, or was it you, Hutanik? I was talking about Evergrande. You talking about the real estate company in China? If not, I have no idea what Evergrande is. But I would like an answer to that, though. What other news we have? Mumbai police arrest CoinZX executives for crypto fraud. $64 billion hedge fund. This is actually big news. Ken Griffin, $64 billion hedge fund, is contemplating offering crypto trading services. People would think that that's not a big deal. That is actually a big deal because he was Mr. Nah, not interested. Nope, I'm good off that. That's that guy. And he's coming around like Larry frickin' Fink and saying, yeah, we might do it. Citadel? Psh, don't play. That's a big boy. That's a big change. Is it as big as Larry Fink? No, but that's still a big name now saying they might throw their weight behind crypto. Just saying, it's a very big deal. Yeah, it's the biggest one in China. Evergrande is the biggest real estate company in China, and they've been hurting for a while. Oh, when I tell you the global economy is not as strong as what people think, I'm not kidding you. China's money machine is hurting big. It's hurting big. And that could be a problem for the world. Just saying, that could be a major, major, major hit. A major hit. So yeah. There are some big changes that are coming. There are some big hits that are coming that can make the market go down for sure. Which is why I keep telling people, position yourself well. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. The GMB3, Ham's house. Just saying, do what they do, not what they say. Buy assets and dump currency. That's what Hutanik is saying. I'm not saying that. That's what Hutanik is saying. I don't necessarily disagree. Fiat is going to be a problem. Crypto is making fiat a problem. Why do you think so many countries are moving at lightning speeds, at breakneck speeds, to create stablecoin regulations? What can you do without having a CBDC? You get a pseudo CBDC and you call it a stablecoin. You create regulations that make it so that whatever stablecoin is tracking to your fiat can still be controlled by you. That's why there's such a problem with Tether. That's why there's such a problem with Tether, because Tether is basically stateless. Right? That's a problem. Can't control it. USDC, RLUSD, PayPal, PayPal's whatever the heck it is, yeah, can be controlled. Can be controlled. That's why when I bring you guys news, I try to bring you news from around the world. First of all, I'm not just talking to people in the United States. I'm speaking with a whole bunch of people literally from around the world. Our group, our community is global, right? So that's why I talk about global news, because I realize that, what happens in this country can affect other countries. What happens in other countries can affect our country. And that's wherever the heck you are. So when you have countries like the UK saying, hey, crypto wallets could be a problem, you pay attention to that because it could be a problem. We have an example of it right now where you have OKX admitting that they should not have been servicing people in the United States. They're about to pay $500 million. That's the answer to tonight's question. $500 million, $500 million for continuing to service United States residents unlawfully. So we had 26 votes. 15% said Uniswap, 15% said Bybit, 27% said OKX, 42% said Binance. Wow. Everybody wants to kick Binance, man. Yeah, I wouldn't be kicking Binance. They're just doing their thing. Some former Kansas banker lost $47 million. He's doing jail time, about to do jail time. Now, something that caught my attention that is not going to directly affect us, but hear me out. Googling it is cheating, young lady. That's cheating. But at least you wanted to do the research. So Microsoft stock takes a dip after data center expansion slowdown because they decided to cancel a couple of data center contracts. I was listening to another story earlier in the day before that Microsoft hit, and somebody said, check this out. Most data centers are not data centers. Most of these data centers, these people are building out data centers, saying that they're data centers. But when you ask them data center questions like, where are your generators? Oh, we'll order them. You sign the contract and then we'll order them. They're 19 months out. The guy said generators for data centers, those huge freaking, generators, 90 months out, not 90 days. He said 19 months. They're all spoken for. What? So when these companies are building out these data centers, they're not really data centers. How many internet lines do you have coming in? How clean are those lines? How much power do you have? What's your backup power? What's the security infrastructure? All of those different things. You know how some buildings are built with cinder blocks like this? There are data centers down in bottom of Manhattan. The blocks are like this, and they don't have holes. They're solid. They're solid freaking. You can drive. You'd have to drive a tank, and even then, the tank might have to back up and ram it again before it gets through. It's like that. And I'm like, wow. It's no joke. It really is no joke. So when you look at these things, you're kind of like, how is that going to affect our bag? Well, that tells you about growth, right? That's one of the largest companies in the world. Tells you about growth, right? What they're saying is like, yeah, we're not going to do those data centers. We're going to hold off a little bit. What are they seeing when they are looking forward? What are they seeing when they're looking forward? Remember, when DeepSeek and QN came out, Microsoft was all over it. Just hear me out before I get on to the next topic. They were all over it. And then when they started running those side by side with OpenAI stuff, these were running faster and cheaper than OpenAI stuff. I know because we're running them now. We've got setups where we're running them now for our use. And when I tell you wicked fast, wicked accurate in terms for certain things, doing what they do, writing code, not so much. Give you ideas for code, maybe. Help you organize your code, understand your code, fine tune using your code. Yeah. We're starting to do some really good stuff with AI. But the fact that we did the math, the actual math on how much it would cost us to run our rigs, amazing. $100 a year. Max. Full bore. Full bore. Max. $100 a year. Imagine running your own ChatGPT for less than $100 a year. What? That's basically what we're doing. We're running a better product than OpenAI's ChatGPT for $100 a year. That's what? 3 months, 4 months. If you're paying for ChatGPT, the pro version is like 20 some odd dollars. Yeah. 4 months. Less than $100 a year. So when you think about Microsoft not doing anything for the, not getting into these data center projects, it makes me stop and wonder, why not? Growing too fast, projecting too much, and now you're realizing, oh, we don't have to project that far. We might have to reconfigure things. I'm just sitting here and I'm going, that's some interesting stuff right there. That's some very interesting stuff right there. So yeah, that to me is telling about what's going forward. Now I said I'd get back to Hutanic. Hold on. If they reevaluated gold to 15,000 an ounce, would eliminate $37 trillion in debt service on the balance sheet. Maybe the rest of the world needs to agree to that, right? Your creditors need to agree to that. So I don't know about that. We'll see. But if gold on a global level was reevaluated to 15 grand, that's like done, right? But there have been a lot of countries buying up gold. So I don't know. And they're talking about, oh, let's go audit Fort Knox. And I'm like, you should be down at the bottom of Manhattan because that's where, I'm just saying, it's just me. Binance won't onboard me because I don't have a real address. Go see about getting a mailbox, like mailboxes, etc. FedEx, UPS store. You might be able to do something like that because those are real addresses. What else is there? They do that and invest a lot into BTC. They might actually successfully tackle the debt problem. I don't think tackling the debt problem with as much Bitcoin as they're talking about, that's not going to tackle the debt problem anytime soon. The math doesn't work. Okay, that was for him. The Fed shows their gold evaluated at $43 per ounce. So it looks like a plan to suppress it until they were ready. Oh, I don't know about that. That to me is conspiracy theory stuff. I don't know. I don't know about that at all. I'd have to do a lot more research into that to be able to go figure that out. And I'm not a metals guy. I know somebody that's literally a metals trader. I'd have to go ask him. Grok is fastest and smartest at the moment. No, I do not buy into that like at all. No, I will never put any cabbage in Elon's pocket. That's not going to happen. Nope. That is not going to happen. Cabbage and diamonds don't mix well. A lot of roughage. Broken teeth if you're chewing. Again, the Fed shows, okay, I'm happy for you. Repeating yourself doesn't do it for me. I said, I don't know. I believe you, but I don't know. I have to go ask somebody about that number. Like I'd have to go see it myself. Trust but verify. You know me. But I'll read it again. Again, the Fed shows $43 an ounce on their books right now. So what you're saying is the Fed says $43 per ounce and they haven't adjusted for the damn near $3,000 per ounce? Is that what you're saying? They won't use FedEx or UPS. Find a UPS store that's in a residential area, in a residential building. Like I know of one in Rye, New York. They're in a residential building. I know one in Larchmont. They're in a residential building. So they share an address with somebody. So that might could work. And then wherever you get your mail, that could be something. I would be shocked if on the books they say that, because then you'd say, well, sell the gold, right? Get rid of the debt. Wash away the debt. But gold is tangible and they don't really want to get rid of the gold. But that's $37 trillion in debt that the United States is in. So I don't know. That's I'd have to go talk to a couple of people about that. Those are big, big, big numbers. Big, big, big numbers. But you see how so many little things add up to tell you a story? That's a lot. Yeah, when you start using words like they, that's when you lose me. No, I want cold hard facts. Who did what, when, why, how. And then I'd need to see on the Fed books, gold is worth $43 an ounce. They've never done anything to catch up on that. Yeah, I'm not buying that. That's too much. I'd have to go do some research. I'll leave it at that. It is on. Lex Luthor, I understand what you're saying. I'd rather take Hutanic's research. Hutanic's research drives me to go do research. They don't drive me to go do research. They drive me to wait for the new lies. I'm saying it as I see it. I use a small mail forwarding company. Then you'd have to find a company that can give you a real address. Friends, family, whatever. You'd have to find somebody that could give you a real address to be able to do it. And Binance, you're saying Binance.us or Binance, Binance, the parent, Binance. Binance can't do business in this country. You'd have to be using Binance.us. And yeah, it would definitely be a problem. It would absolutely be a problem. You could find a place to park that can give you an address. Maybe there's a service like that, but yeah, I wouldn't know what to tell you. That's tough. That's really, really tough. I have no answers other than what I gave you. I have no ideas about what else you could do. A real place that forwards your mail should be able to give you a real address. So like if you were incorporating in Delaware, there are attorneys that will accept your mail and then forward it to you. It costs money, but they will accept your mail and forward it to you. And you figure you only need that for a little while. You only need that for a little while. But this is exactly why so many people are not dealing with exchanges. They're kind of dealing with, they're not dealing with centralized exchanges because I live in an RV. What's my address? Where are you going to send my mail to? How do you forward my mail? That's a good one. How do you forward my mail? Just saying. One day we'll get into a conversation about how a lot of people are moving into hotels. Instead of having houses and apartments and stuff like that, they're moving into hotels. getting long-term leases in hotels because it's cheaper. They did the math because it's cheaper. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes. Tell your friends about our community. It's a very different community than everybody else's out there. I think the Grow My Bag community is incredibly unique. Incredibly unique. Also, thank you for your time. And absolutely thank you for your patience. But most importantly, as always, thank you for your trust. Everybody have a great night. See you tomorrow morning.